Hello and welcome to the Kingdom Reviewed, where I'm going to be reviewing anything that has to do with Walt Disney World, including meals, hotels, rides, events, you name it. Alright, so for our first episode, we're heading to the Whispering Canyon Cafe, which is located within the Wilderness Lodge Resort. So one thing that you should know when you're considering going to Whispering Canyon is that it is a noisy restaurant with the staff encouraged to play games with you and give you a little bit of sass, and that's part of the fun. All right, so we went to the Whispering Canyon Cafe for the first opening, for the first available time slot, and we still had to wait about 15 minutes to be seated. So I would say that their seating isn't very efficient. So like I said, the waitresses and waiters will play little tricks with you. So one of the things you should know is if you ask for ketchup, they're going to bring you about 12 to 15 bottles of ketchup from all across the restaurant. So you have to be in a certain kind of mood to really want to go to this type of restaurant. This was our first night, our first meal at Walt Disney World after a 6 o'clock in the morning flight. And we were exhausted and just not really in the right place for this type of restaurant. We still had fun, but I think we would have enjoyed it a lot more had we had more energy. So I would recommend going to this restaurant on a day when you know that you're going to have that type of energy. So the first thing they bring you is bread, and as you can see, it was really delicious. We finished it off and asked for more. For this trip, we were on the dining plan. So one of the things you should know is if you're on the dining plan at Whispering Canyon Cafe, they have an all-you-can-eat platter. They also have different entrees. So if you're on the dining plan and you want to share, you can share a meal because they're quite big, which you'll see later, and it can just count as one table service credit. You can't share the all-you-can-eat. Okay, so we weren't that hungry, so my husband and I shared our meal, drink, and dessert, and then my mom got her own, and then that was only 2 table service credits instead of 3. And so you can just see the menus here. And I got, since we were on the dining plan, we splurged a little bit. I guess it's prepaid, so it's not exactly a splurge, but I got the chocolate milkshake. And the chocolate milkshake was incredibly rich. I maybe drank like a third of that. And it's free refills, and I just couldn't. It was just too sweet. And then my husband and I got the New York strip, and as you can see in the upper corner there is a blue cheese butter, and then underneath are grilled vegetables, and this was really delicious. I mean, it was incredible. And then my mom got the chicken platter, which came with chicken, mashed potatoes, grilled vegetables, and some beans. And this was really good, but the mashed potatoes were out of this world. They were incredible. So overall, what I would say is that the Whispering Canyon Cafe is a good choice if you're in high spirits. I would say some of the cons of this restaurant are that it might be a little bit noisy, and depending on your personality, you might take the wait staff as being a little bit rude, depending on who you get. I think when you're requiring people to have a sense of humor at their job who may not normally have one, it might not come off correctly. The pros were that it's in the Wilderness Lodge, which is a beautiful hotel. We hung out before and after our reservation, so that is definitely a big plus for this one. It's fun if you're in the mood for it. The food was incredible, and we just had a really good time. As far as the theming, I think they do a really good job with the theming. It isn't like the absolute best in all of Walt Disney World, but it's very nice. It goes along with the whole feel of the hotel, of the resort. As far as prices, we were on the dining plan, but I would say that it would be a little bit pricey. I mean, the milkshake, I believe, was $7, and my steak, let's see, my steak was $33. So that's a little bit pricey. I mean, you're getting into the price points where you could be eating at some of the signature restaurants around Walt Disney World. So overall, would I recommend it? I would say go there at least once if you go to Disney World often. I wouldn't put this very high up on your list of places to go, but definitely check it out once. And I think that for me, maybe I'll go like once every 4 or 5 visits, along those lines. Okay, so if you like this video and you found it helpful, please give me a comment. Tell me if you have reservations or what you thought about the restaurant. Have a magical day.